Awesome. All right. Well, I am going to talk tonight about one of my favorite things. And before I do that, I want to show you guys my second, I don't know, I showed you guys an oil last time, so I'm going to show you another oil because this is like my get work done hustle oil. Do any of you guys have Build Your Dream? Okay, it is so good. I first smelled it when Hannah came to my house a year ago this weekend. Is that not crazy? I know. And it like just inspires me. And I think pick a favorite oil and diffuse it whenever you work. And then when you smell it, it'll remind you like, okay, we're going. It's hustle time. It'll like remind your brain. I wear this oil at convention every day. And so now when I smell it, I'm like, this is exciting, new things. So if you don't have Build Your Dream, use some ER points or save up for it because it is like, smells so good. But tonight I want to talk about income producing activities. So you might have heard or seen the term before. If people like write out the letters IPA, have you guys seen that? It just stands for income producing activity. So since we own our own businesses, we kind of schedule our own time, have our own freedom, get to kind of do what we want, which can be awesome. But then a lot of times we don't have like a boss who's, giving us tasks to do or things like that. So we make up our own days, we make up our own schedule, and we can often fill our schedule and think we're doing work when really we're just filling our time with things that maybe aren't, growing our business as much as other things could be. So tonight I want to focus on what it looks like to do income producing activities. I have a whole list of ones that I've done and that I've been learning about that you guys can take notes on. I'll try to type it up afterwards, but you guys are here, so you'll get to hear them here. But I think I want to talk about one thing before we get into that trips people up sometimes, and that is being afraid to want to make money. Show me just with your thumbs. I'm going to go like second grade teacher on you guys. If you wish that your Young Living paycheck would grow bigger. For sure. We all want that because that's a huge reason, whatever our why is. The fact of life is that money can take us places and buy us freedom and build us dreams. That's just kind of how the world works. So I just want to remind you and maybe encourage you that helping people live better and then making money alongside of that isn't a bad thing. And it's okay to spend your time bettering people's lives and their health and also blessing your family monetarily. Like those things are okay to do together. And it doesn't mean just because we're, working on OGV and sales and paychecks and money that we're not focused on loving people and serving them and helping them. They go hand in hand, but it's okay to like get down and dirty and focus on those numbers sometimes because that does need to happen. So if you want to think of it this way, it's a really common phrase, but money in the hands of good people can do good things. So it's okay to make money. It's okay to make lots of money. It's okay to make big money, and we can in Young Living. So if you want your paycheck to grow, you do have to put the hours in and treat it like a job. So focusing on things that are going to, we call them income producing because they produce income. They're things that are profitable and will grow your business. So focusing on those things instead of like, organizing our desk and checking Facebook and looking at different things in virtual office. If we hone in on the things that are really going to grow us and build, you're going to see results more. So my favorite quote that I've been mulling over a lot, I love quotes. It's from a guy named Darren Hardy. He wrote like the book Compound Effect or something like that. I haven't read it all the way, but I've seen his name a lot. And he says that small, smart choices done consistently over a period of time is where you see the huge difference happening. So if we take all these little income producing activities and we just do them every day and you just do the process and continue to be consistent and show up every day, that's where you're going to see the big results. I often at the beginning and even now, I wanted there to be this secret that someone would tell me that would be like, oh, that's how you become a diamond. But then becoming a diamond is just showing up every day, loving people, putting the work in, and focusing on the things that grow your team. So without further ado, I just made a list of like 22 income producing activities. So these are things that you can do as you sit down to work every day. I know tons of us on here are working other jobs. We have kids. We have a husband to take care of. We have grandkids, whatever. We have lots of things going on in life. And so we're working in the gaps and all of that. So things that can make our work time really work smart for us. So I'm just going to run through them. If you want to take notes, go for it. And then at the end, we can share if you guys have other ones that you do that you think have been really profitable for you, and if you have any questions. So, okay, here we go. Number 1, all of these, they're not in any specific order or importance. They're just things that I wrote down. So this would kind of be a beginning of the month one, but text people with monthly promos. So you can easily grab a graphic of the promos for the month off the Facebook pages and just start sending it to people in text, because as much as we check the Facebook groups and a lot of us are really involved, not everyone is. And so the more we can connect, put things in front of them, just help them see the info, that's income producing, because you're putting the product in front of people and showing them the deals. Number 2 is post to social media. Not just anything though. Post something about your oils that adds value to people's life and tells a story. So like 2 oils you're using that is making your kids nap really long, or 2 oils you're using that's helped you in your emotions, or posting a picture of Ninja and talking about how that's changed your life. So anytime you can post oils and put them out there, but also make it something that adds value to people's life and isn't just you like vomiting sales onto their newsfeed, is always a good thing. Number 3, schedule classes. Schedule classes, schedule classes, schedule classes. And if you want to keep growing, you need to do probably more than 1 a month. And classes are a great way to use a little bit of time to grow a big way. So schedule classes. Number 4, email out a newsletter. If you know that your people don't really respond to texts or phone calls, but they check their email all the time, make a little newsletter. There's tons of different little websites you can plug photos into and send that out. Have tips in there, the promos, all that. Number 5, I saw this one really big this week, is set up like an oily health goal routine for someone. I had a few moms who were asking me just about how to use their oils best for the school year. And so I wrote them up like a little, here's 5 things to do every day. And I sent that to them. And I had 2 people place 300 PV orders. Sometimes they're ready to do it. They just need to know, like, what do I get? What do I buy? Make it as easy as you can for me. So it's a great idea. Number 6 is hand out business cards. You can throw them in your mailbox with a little nitro for your mail lady, or give it to the person at the grocery store who's checking out your groceries, whatever. But you can hand out business cards. Number 7 is to handwrite and mail out notes. So these could be welcome notes. Oh, those are so cute. Hannah, unmute yourself and talk about them.
Sorry, I couldn't get them out in time. I've been meaning to show you guys these, but I got some Rosa 30 business cards made. And these are made by the person who made our logo. But if you want your own info put like in here, let me know and I'll pass along her information, and she can customize your own business card for $10. And then you can print them off at Vistaprint.
Those are super cute.
Yeah.
Cool. Show me with your thumbs. Am I going too fast, or are you able to catch everything? Is the pace good? I feel like I'm just flowing through the list. Okay. So number 6 was to hand out business cards, and sometimes that can feel kind of weird. So, do it in places where like you might not send a text, but you could connect with someone and have some like a sample with it or something like that. If any of y'all are friends with Tabitha Booth on Facebook, she's one of our mermaids. She had a cool sample idea the other day, so you could check that out as an idea. Okay, number 7 was to handwrite and mail out notes. So welcoming new members. This is especially great if you have some people, if your team is getting a little bit deeper now, and maybe they're not someone you enrolled, but you still want to let them know, hey, I'm here for you. I'm part of your support, your leadership team. You can easily send them a quick note. You don't have to include a huge package, but just a way to say, hey, I see you, and here I am. It's always good. And never hurts to send thank you notes either. So I saw an idea on Facebook this week. Just pick like 5 members on your team and write them a thank you note saying, thanks for your business. I'm so glad you're on my team. I love doing life with you, and pop it in the mail. Everybody loves getting mail. It's just a great way to connect and just put your name in front of them and remind them that they're part of the community. Number 8, text a favorite diffuser or roller recipe. I love doing this to my team, just picking a favorite graphic I have, or maybe making my own, and send it to like 20 people. And just maybe it's, this is obviously a great back to school time. You can send them like a homework recipe or an after school diffuse recipe. During the winter, I love sending like, here's a great Christmas diffuser recipe, putting ideas of using products in front of people in just a friendly and fun way. Number 9 is invite a friend over to chat oils. So this can be a little scarier than sending a text, but maybe you had a friend who was talking about just her stress level and sleep at night. You could say, hey, I remembered, I was thinking about what you said, and this is what we've been doing to sleep really well at night. You're welcome to come over. We can just smell some oils and you can take my diffuser home and try it. So getting a little more personal, but if it's a friend, invite them over for just a laid back chat. Number 10 is to go in your virtual office and check all of the scheduled ER orders. Now, maybe do this once a week or every few days. And if you hover, I think we've talked about this, if you hover over the box, it'll tell you what is like the PV amount in their cart. So don't let people miss out on free stuff if they're like 10 PV away. That's a couple like lip balms or, a citrus oil. So don't be afraid to text them with the promos and say, hey, I just noticed your order was really close to, hitting that free lemon oil. Friends don't let friends miss out on free oils, and let them know that way. Number 11 is to send new member welcome packets. I know we have a whole file about this in the main Rose group, so you can go in the files and check that out. So anytime you get a new member, always a good idea to throw, if you can, just even like 1 or 2 things outside the kit as a sample for them, just so they can start seeing the whole world outside the starter kit. Number 12, unbox your ER order on social media. Kelly Dale is not on here tonight, but she has been doing this lately, and I know she's been terrified and done it anyway, so it's always cool to see you guys doing things scared. Hannah, you do this all the time, don't you, Hannah Vasquez? Don't you do your ER boxing? That's cool. So people can see you're consistently, this girl keeps ordering from this place. She's living her life out with all these products. Oh, she got dish soap. I buy dish soap. I bet I could buy dish soap there. Just put it in front of them all the time. 13 is personal development. So it's also income producing activity to invest in yourself, whether that's a free podcast that costs you nothing or buying a book. There's so many that we've listed in the Rose Society groups. You can Google tons of different network marketing books or resources, tons of oil ones. Lindsay Teague Moreno has an awesome podcast that's free called Boss Up on iTunes. Just go to the podcast app, search Boss Up, and you'll see it. It's bright and colorful and has like her logo, and it is full of gold, and they're like 15-minute podcasts or less. So that is totally my speed. Number 14, here's another idea. Offer a flash sale. So you could post on your Facebook or send out an email saying, hey, for the next 2 hours, I'm offering free shipping on premium starter kits, or something where you're making the sale up. Obviously, Young Living isn't. But time-sensitive incentives are always a really good win because they get people thinking, like, make an immediate decision. Sorry, guys, I'm losing my voice because it's Sunday and I talk today. Okay. How's everybody doing so far? The one thing I don't like about Zoom is I'm just like regurgitating information on you, but y'all look great. Okay. Number 15, email or text an applicable article. So the more we can educate our members and help them to learn on their own, then we're not just, what's that quote about fishing? Yeah, it's not going to come to me. You can give a man a fish, or you can teach him how to fish. Is that right? Someone nod if that. Thank you, Pat. So instead of someone feeling like they can come to you all the time for questions, of course they can, but if you point them in the direction of how they can learn themselves and start to just be empowered that way, that's always good. So maybe you have a great reference book that you love, send them the link to it. Or maybe it's just an article that they can click on and read that that their kid struggles with this. So you could say, oh, look at how these oils have supported this person. I thought of you. Send it your way. An easy thing. And if you make it personable, people love to know that like you knew exactly what they are using oils for or wanting them for, and they just feel really cared for. Number 16 is to mail out some samples. This is something that's been really successful for me every time I've done it. A lot of times before a new season comes up, I'll make little baggies of samples, like the back to school one I did, or last summer I made one that had like citronella, lavender lotion, and something else. Maybe it wouldn't have been lavender. I don't remember what it was, but it was summer related things. And I sent them out to like 5 people on my team just with a fun summer note. And then I made 2 extra and I posted them on Facebook and said, hey, was just mailing out some fun things to my team. Does anybody else want to try these that's new to Young Living, so that you don't have other people, jumping in on the fun. And hopefully she's okay with me saying this, that's how Kelly Dale ended up on our team, is because she saw that and wanted to try it out. And then she got her kit like in the week later. So something where people don't have to really pay anything and they just get to have some fun mail is always incentivizing. And then they get the products in their hands. And that's what you want to do, is get products in people's hands, in front of their faces, let them try it out for themselves. Number 17, spend time on your leaders. So text them, call them, write them notes, send them ranked gifts if that's applicable. If you don't have any leaders on your team yet, spend some time loving on people that you wish were your leaders, and just really pouring into them and helping them feel special. It doesn't have to relate to oils. Number 18, text people about back in stocks. So this is huge, like with the makeup brushes that just came back in, or all the makeup that came in on Friday night, it's pretty much fully stocked now. So anytime a more hot item comes in, grab a graphic. There'll always probably be some in the Rose group, or you can Google and go through people that you know on your team would be interested in that, and just let them know, this is back in stock. Did you see? Run, don't walk, or something like that. Number 19 is go through your money missers. So this would be towards the end of the month. We talked about this when we did end of month hustle, but go through and see who has people under them who ordered that didn't place an order, or maybe they need to spend 100 PV instead of 50 PV. So help explain that. Caitlin, I've not forgotten. I will text you about that. Sorry. And just go through and comb through and check that. Number 20 is schedule a coffee date. So this is like a little bit in between a Facebook interaction or a text interaction and hosting a whole class. It's just a very laid back way to share about oils. It could be with a person who's new. It could be with a person who's currently on your team, where you're sitting down with them and helping them learn how to make a roller, or helping them know how to log into their virtual office. It could be with a builder, where you're sitting down and talking through some strategies for growing their team, hosting a class, helping them think through some things. So any of those situations is income producing. Number 21 is follow up with kit wanters, people that have been interested and just haven't taken that jump yet. And again, this is a great place where you can offer some sort of time-sensitive incentive, where you could throw in a bottle of lime, if they get their kit this weekend, or whatever it may be. Something inexpensive but thoughtful and just kind of sweetens the deal. And then number 22 is teach a class with or for a friend. So if you feel like you've kind of tapped out on inviting your own friends to classes, reach down to someone in your downline or someone on your team and offer to co-teach with them, or see if someone on your team who's just ordering wants to host a class and have some friends over, and that's a great way to earn free product and teach it for them. So you can tap in scheduling classes for your own people, or for people of people that you know. Okay, that was 22 ideas. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a framework for what income producing activity is. Anytime you're talking to new people about oils, talking to current people about oils, sharing the business opportunity, but there's so many things that fall underneath those categories. So I wanted to give you like real life examples of what it would look like to sit down and crank out like 5 of these things in an hour one day. Everyone's workday will look different, but if you're setting aside some time to work, the best thing you can do is work smart and make your time count and make it profitable for you and make it valuable for other people too. So I just spent a lot of time talking. If you want to unmute yourself, go for it. And if you have questions, shout them out. Or if you have other IPAs that you love that I didn't mention, because I'm sure 22 is not exhaustive.
I do have a question. So when we talk about flash sales, I know you'd mentioned the 2-hour window, but do we have anyone else with insights of maybe what's too long, or what's been a good amount of time that works for them to do a flash sale?
Anybody else? Are you asking like if 2 hours is kind of the norm, or if anybody has other ideas?
Yeah, just I've tried to do like an over the weekend, and I feel that's way too long because it hasn't really worked out for me. I just didn't know if 2 hours is what's been, like I wrote that down. So if that's what's working for everyone, or if anyone else has any other ideas on the time limit for flash sales.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
If I'm teaching an in-person class, my incentive will be like that night. But if it's an online thing where I'm posting, it's typically a day, maybe 2.
Okay.
And just a FYI, I don't offer them a lot because I want the kit to stand out as like a huge value in and of itself. And when people are always seeing you offering sales, then they're just going to wait until the next sale.
Right.
Because why would they buy it without a sale?
Perfect.
I've done some flash sales before that were not part of a class, even like for my own team already, where I've said like, you know, for the next 3 hours, orders of 100 PV will be entered to win, blah, 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 or something. This has come in handy. Like for me, I worked really, really hard to keep silver 3 months in a row so I could go to silver retreat. And the last day of the month of my second month, I needed kind of a lot. So I hosted this like flash sale event on Facebook. And sometimes the word flash sale is kind of a marketing term, honestly, where people see, oh, it's there. Like, I want to see, I would do that. And so they'll kind of click in and see, and you can make it anything you want, where that day I did give like cash back for kits, but I also did a giveaway, and then I like matched or I gave like a donation toward a charity, and then things like that. So the word flash sale is really just a general term, and you can decide what would work best for your team and kind of wiggle it around. So yeah, I definitely agree with not like over blasting the kit sale all the time. Anybody else have questions? Do those things seem like things you could fit into your workday and like seem feasible, make sense?
I think the helpful thing to remember about income producing activities is when you look at your day and it's so full and you're like, oh, I only have 5 minutes, but I want to do something effective for my business. Do one of these things that Kelsey listed, because that's going to be effective instead of twiddling your thumbs and not doing anything for 5 minutes.
I always watch Instagram stories, and I tell myself, stop watching Instagram stories and go spend 3 minutes doing something income producing.
Yeah, when you mentioned sending cards to people who were enrolled on your team but not personally by you, that's something I've done a lot of, and it does take some time to do handwritten cards, but I have found it really helpful with connecting with people. And I'll go ahead and I'll send them out, and then I'll write in my calendar maybe like 4 or 5 days later a reminder for myself to Facebook friend those people who I just sent the card to. So they're getting the card first and seeing a card from Kimber, and then they're getting my Facebook friend request. And then we have that connection that can be ongoing from that, because we can see each other's lives a little more.
That's so smart and so organized.
I know I've tried to do that as my team is slowly growing here. I know I remember getting my card from Hannah in the mail when I first got my kit, and I was like completely amazed. Like, I don't even know who this person is, and so it must be like something real, not one of these like hoaxy things. Like, I knew who Kimber was and Jillian, obviously, but I remember getting that one from Hannah, like just surprised, like that someone would send it to me. So I've been trying to do that every new person that I don't know, which hasn't been a lot yet, but slowly.
That's so sweet.
It will, though, and that's a really good practice. I'm glad you felt that way, Nicole.
I did. It was cool.
I send cards as well, and because of Hannah, I do to everybody that gets in our group. And now I have adopted your welcome packet, and that is wonderful. That is really good, and I'm giving those. I think I'm going to just have to put them in the mail, which is going to be maybe a little pricey, but that's okay.
I usually can send mine for like under $3.
Well, it's not bad. I just expected it to be more than that. Okay, good.
Yeah, not too bad. And you hear like people saying like, oh, Hannah did this, so I do that. your people are going to do what you do. Like we see that playing out. So the more that you hone in and focus on these things, like they're just going to duplicate and follow you. So it's a good example to set.
Wish
I
they
did
would.
want to share one quick thing before it's 8 o'clock. There is a Facebook group that I have been gleaning tons and tons of info from. It's called Oily IPA. So like the word oily and then the letters IPA. It's a private group run by Diamond Jamie Nato, who I love. She's amazing. She does a really great job running her business. And then one of her team members, Vanessa, I can't remember her last name. She's a platinum. So clearly they know what they're doing. They've seen a lot of growth. And it is a paid Facebook group. So it's $30 a month. And I'm just wanted to share kind of what I've seen, and then you can decide if you want to fit that into your budget. It's definitely something you can write off for your business. And each day, so they only focus on income producing activities. And every month they put up a calendar, and every day has like an income producing activity to focus on. And then there's a post every day that fleshes that out. It's an accountability group to like get in here, comment when you're done. Here's ideas of how to do it. They have graphics you can use a lot of times, and they just really spell it out for you. It's been super motivating for me, really inspiring. And it's a place where it's just like no fluff and here's what to do. And I think that there's tons going on in the oily business world lately, and this has been a nice just shoot it to me straight type of group. So consider that. You can Google Oily IPA. They have like a website that'll give you a little info without having to join the group and pay for it. But it fit really nicely with our topic tonight. So I wanted to share that with you guys for if it would fit in your future. Okay, any other questions?
Not me.
Okay, I'm going to throw up a graphic in the Hustle and Heart group this week. And if you want to take like 10 seconds every now and then to check in and tell us what you're doing that's income producing, I think that would be a really cool way for us to kind of sharpen each other and keep us going down this road of productivity. So,
And you're going to list your 22 things?
Yes, I will write it out for y'all.
I had to exit from the den.
Oh.
And I didn't bring a notepad in here. So if you're going to do that, that would be great.
Sure thing. Anything for you, Pat?
Because they were good. That was very good.
Thank you. Okay, well, we can go ahead and wrap up for tonight. Thanks all of you for making the time to be here and showing up. So see you next week.
Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kelsey.
Anna. Bye, y'all.